course of the last week and a half, 2 weeks, Michigan has got a pretty good influx of players, especially starters, who have announced that they will be returning to the program. The biggest one I would say is Blake Corum, returning for his senior year. It was also announced Cornelius Johnson, who is one of the top targets receiver wise, announced that he was coming back. Jenkins announced that he was coming back, one of their important linemen. Michael Barrett, uh, their most important, or at least I would say their captain linebacker, return announced he's returning for his 6 year as well. And also, I believe we know Mike Shannon still also has he's been announced it, but he also has returned. So that's huge. Continuity is huge, especially for a team like this that had really good success. Bringing back, starters, really important people on your team from a leadership standpoint, production standpoint, is huge, especially if you have the goal of repeating or even going further than you did this past season. So, that's for me, and I'm sure a lot of Michigan fans, it definitely gives you a chance to kind of excel a little bit, feel pretty good about the team that you have coming back next year. We know JJ is going to be there. Donovan Edwards is also going to be there. I mean, he actually recently talked about his goals, saying that he wants to be, he plans to essentially, if all goes according to plan, he plans to declare for the draft next year, and is shooting to be a first round draft pick. And it's interesting when he said that. It's funny when you look at social media, you look at Twitter, and you see the different types of opinions that people have. And I found it so funny that some Michigan fans, not a lot, probably a very small minority of them, but some, saw it as a negative, as he should be focused on, you know, winning, or, hey, well, you didn't play that well versus TCU or something like that. I'm like, that a young man having lofty goals is huge for the program, because if he wants to achieve those goals, means he has to produce, and if he produces, that helps the program win. So, um, I I hope that Donovan Edwards does everything he can do to be a first round draft pick, because that bodes really well for the Michigan football team this fall. So, you got him, you have JJ. This is going to be a big summer for JJ. I think, and I want to hit on this later. Look, CJ Stroud declared for the NFL draft. And I'm not exactly sure. I'm sure you've gone through it, and especially on the Ohio State channel, and your own shows as well, that what their quarterback situation is going to be. But as of now, I feel pretty comfortable saying that JJ McCarthy probably is, or has a legitimate argument to be, the best Big Ten quarterback starting next year. Flaws and all. We'll see if he can progress. I mean, maybe you can argue Talia Tagovailoa. It's in that argument, but I think he has a legitimate, you know, uh, chance to do so, to start off that way, and that's huge, right? So, um, things are looking pretty good for this program right now. So, just kind of want to get your thoughts on that, Mark. I'm sure you probably didn't expect some huge exodus of players, but it's always good to see key players return to your program.
Yeah, I think the players that were projected to come back all decided to come back. And then there were some guys that were more like 50-50 guys,
Hmm.
like a Blake Corum. And I know Cornelius Johnson, a lot of people had doubts about him coming back. So most of the 50-50 guys, if not all of the 50-50 guys, also made that decision to come back to school. So I think that it obviously that's nothing but a ton of pluses from a talent and personnel standpoint. But I think it also says something for uh, the culture, the uh, camaraderie on this team, the attitude that they have about unfinished business, the belief that they have that, if a collection of them come back, that they can get it done. Um, Not that, and when I say can get it done, obviously I'm talking about the ultimate goal of a national championship. What they achieved the last 2 years is phenomenal in basically taking back the Big Ten and taking that away from Ohio State for the first time in close to 20 years. That Ohio State, you would not have be considering them to be the program or the team in the Big Ten. I think with Michigan backing up what they did the previous year, that I don't have any argument, nor would I really take any argument from anyone that Ohio State is still the program or the team in the Big Ten. I don't think they're far away from it, but Michigan's won the game 2 years in a row and won the Big Ten championship. So they're the owners of the Big Ten right now. And they have a lot of guys that obviously are bought into coming back and going for another run. The thing about J.J. McCarthy is I'm right there with you in regards to his status as the best quarterback in the Big Ten. Yeah, the first name that would come to mind from an experience standpoint, from the standpoint of talent and experience combination, would be Talia Tagovailoa. Of course, Ohio State's going to have most likely, unless they do something in the portal, which I don't see that happening, because I think everyone that has that type of talent or experience to start at in Ohio State, there's only a couple of those guys, and they have made decisions like a Sam Hartman to Notre Dame. So I think it's going to be an inexperienced quarterback at Ohio State, whether that be Kyle McCord or Devin Brown. That's not to say that the winner of that quarterback battle can't be the best quarterback in the Big Ten, because Ohio State is, let's see, it's been 3 or 4 consecutive quarterbacks that didn't have experience that turned out to be arguably the best quarterback in the conference, whether that's C.J. Stroud, Justin Fields, Dwayne Haskins, going back J.T. Barrett. He didn't have any experience when he was the first when he first started at Ohio State. So, but for right now, when you look at 5-star talent and a guy that led his team to a Big Ten championship and a playoff appearance, and regardless of his mistakes in the playoff, a lot of yards and a lot of points in the playoff game, then as I look around the league, J.J. McCarthy's right now the guy that you would consider to be the best. So there are a lot of positives for Michigan. There is Jim Harbaugh flirting with the NFL. That seems to be all said and done.
For now.
And there's this little squabble with the NCAA. I don't expect much to come from that.